Good morning, my YouTube family. I have a baseball game to get to tomorrow, and so I need some carnivore food. I'm going to be making some turkey jerky. It is sugar-free. It has just a hair of carbs, which come in the form of the soy sauce. So is it actual carnivore? No. Is it close enough to not spike my insulin? Yes. So here's the recipe. Let's see if we can do a selfie cam here on the recipe. That's not the recipe. There we go. And I'm going to put this in the comments. We're going to be making 4 pounds of meat today. 4 pounds of turkey meat. So it's going to be double in the recipe. But I will probably make another video down the road. This is just to kind of get it out there. I like the recipe. It works really good for just basic lunches. It's not too salty. The salt that's in it has been reduced quite a bit, and so has the sugar. But yeah, hope you like it. All right, the things that you'll need: a mixing bowl, potato masher, dehydrator, and the ingredients. We have soy sauce, iodized salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, red pepper flakes, and coriander. We're also going to need a tablespoon because we're doubling the recipe. A tablespoon, a teaspoon, and a half teaspoon. A couple of preliminary notes. One, always cook meat to 165 degrees. Even if your dehydrator only goes to 135, 145. After you're done dehydrating it, cook it for 20 minutes cook it at 220 for 20 minutes when you're finished, and then that will ensure that all pathogens have been killed off. Secondly, if you hear any grinding noise as I'm moving dishes, I was sanding, where is it? My meat grinder plate is not flat, and I am working on flattening it. That's another video down the road. We shall see what happens. But yeah, so cook your meat. The meat that we're using today is festive ground turkey. You can get these in the floor freezers, the chest freezers that are in the middle of the aisle. I got mine for $1.98 a piece. All right, first ingredient, 2 tablespoons soy sauce. 1, 2, and when I'm cooking, I will traditionally put my ingredients on a different counter or put them away so as to remind myself what I have used and what I haven't used. Next, we're looking at 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon salt. And then this goes to another counter. 1 teaspoon pepper. This is just regular black pepper, again from Walmart. Okay, now we need a teaspoon onion powder. Be careful with the onion and the garlic powder because they're very poofy. Okay. 1 teaspoon onion powder. And then garlic. 1 teaspoon garlic. 1 teaspoon red pepper flakes. 1 teaspoon red pepper flakes. Okay. And then 1/2 teaspoon of coriander. Teaspoon of coriander. Now, we're going to want to stir this, get it all, turn it into a slush before we put any of the meat in it. Otherwise, you're going to end up with chunks of baking soda here and maybe an elephant or two there. So I'm going to use a whisk. And you just want to make sure that all the powders get mixed up. Okay, I'm gonna call it good. You get a nice consistent texture. Can you see that? Nice consistent texture. Cool. Next, we need the meat. We're done with the whisk. We are done with the whisk. This is a serrated knife. I'd use a sharp knife, but I'm not really sure which one is sharp over there. Okay. 1 pound. To the garbage. Actually, I think I'm going to mix this up before I add any more meat. So I want a paper napkin for this knife. And using the potato masher. Mashed up. Another pound. And garbage. These round things are what we're going for. Set that off to the side. And these are not commercial bought. The only thing that's commercial about it is unbleached parchment paper. Set this up to the side. Okay, first thing we want to do is measure out our tray lid. It's about yay so. And it's about yay so. And lift that off. I grab the paper roll with my hand and I rip it. It's a little big. Make it a little bit closer to the size. Now we're gonna do a little bit of origami. We should get all the water off your counter. Okay, so take our, what should be a square, and there's two ways to fold it. One, you can do corner to corner. Look at how much extra I had there. Or you can fold it in half like such. I think because we're not square, I'm gonna fold it in half in this case. So fold it in half, fold it in half again. Okay. And then take this edge and match it up with that edge. We now have a triangle. Okay, and then take this edge and fold it up with that edge. And now we have a skinnier triangle. Do it again. Okay. Beautiful. That's what we want. Now we want to cut off this tip and the rest of this. Now the best way that I found to measure how much to cut off the tip is you go to the center of your dehydrator tray, put the tip right in the middle of the center, okay? I'll switch hands here. Let's see if I can cut left-handed. And then put your scissors right on the edge of the ring and chop it. In this case, it's better to be a little under than over. All right, next is we're lining up how wide we want it. So I'll put this right up against that lip or edge, and then I will mark with either Sharpie or scissors how far I want to cut. Yep. And then cut that off like such. Okay. Beautiful. Just like that. A few other things you might want are a bowl, a spoon, and a scale. And what we're going to do is we're going to measure out, and this actually might be better with volume instead of weight. These packages of meat don't weigh the same. And what we're going to do is just measure out 16 ounces of meat, set our scale to ounces, and we're just going to measure out 16 ounces. We're at 9.8. 15.8, and I'll probably go a little bit over. I found that they're traditionally a little bit more than 16 ounces. Okay, we'll do about 16.6, right? And then kind of equally distribute it on the tray. You want to try to get it as equally distributed and as thin as possible. Cool. Now we're just going to come along and flatten it out. I found that sideways motions like this actually works pretty decently. It keeps things fairly even. There is probably a better way to do this, which I'm not aware of yet. If anybody has any ideas, just let me know. But what we're doing is just flattening it out. And then once we've got this done, we'll move on to the next tray. Just very, 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 very flat. Beautiful. That went a lot better than it has in the past, I will tell you that. Okay, now that it's distributed, I'm just going to come along and try to get rid of any noticeable bumps or mounds. And again, I'm keeping, instead of working out here, working over here, I'm keeping to this bottom half, and I'm just moving my spoon back and forth. And that, my family, is how you make turkey jerky. I'm going to set this in the dehydrator for probably 24 hours. I like to make sure that my meat is fully dehydrated. Set it in the dehydrator for 24 hours and then take it off the tray, and it comes off the parchment paper really slick. I'll put it on a cookie sheet. And again, 220 degrees for 20 minutes. Make sure that the meat itself gets down to 165 degrees. Or up to 165 degrees. Next. Get that there. And just for the sake of noise, I'm not going to turn this on quite yet. So tear out my scale. Scales tear it out. Make sure you have one liner on your tray. And we're measuring out again another 16 ounces, which is a pound. 3.9, 7.6, 11.15, 13.16, 14.6, 16.8. Good enough. And once again, equal distribution. Cool. And just kind of back and forth. In the near future, I want to make a video on making pemmican. I tried pemmican once in the past, and the beef that I had used it dried well enough. I dried it on the dehydrator before cooking it, but the overall end product was really, really gritty, like sand grit. I haven't tried it with the turkey. The turkey comes out a lot softer, a lot fluffier than does beef. So that's one thing going for it. And then I'm going to try cooking it before I dehydrate it. I won't add blueberries or honey like are traditionally done, just to keep it carnivore. But those are things that traditionally are added to pemmican. Like the blueberries, and I'll have a little bit of honey, and throw some raspberries in, maybe some nuts and seeds. But I'm just gonna do basic meat and fat. I'm really surprised at how much easier this has cooperated with me today. I normally have a lot more difficult time spreading this out. I let the meat sit in the fridge for a couple of days, and then on the counter just now for, I don't know, about a half hour while I ate my lunch. So it's not quite room temperature, but it's in the ambient temperature in here is probably 75, maybe 76. Cool. Number 2 is finished. I'll stick this on top of the other one. Make sure your sides line up. Just like so. Beautiful, beautiful. And I have found that the clear trays do stack with the opaque ones. They're not 100%, they're like 99.95. On to tray number 3. Tear out my scale. Not too shabby. We're at 15.3. Very, very cool. Normally it's actually over a little bit, but I think one of these was leaking in the fridge. Cool. That one looks like it's pretty much done. Okay. Now on to tray 4. There you have it, YouTube. We have dehydrator all ready to go. Down here on the settings, got it set to meat. 145, it should be actually 165. That's why we're gonna cook it afterwards. But all the way over, plug her in. And we'll catch you on the reveal. 24 hours, right? I'm gonna give this, let's see, it's 12 o'clock now. Midnight plus 6, 18. So I'm gonna cook it for 18. Traditionally, you can cook it between 6 to 8 hours and it should be fine, especially with cooking it afterwards. But I'm gonna give it the solid somewhere between 16 to 18 hours. It is now 6 hours later and we need to rotate the trays. Top goes to bottom, bottom goes to top. Let's see if I can do this one-handed here. I'm gonna grab the whole group. The top comes off. And then this one goes to the bottom. Mind the fingers. Cool. And put the lid back on. It's actually 7 hours later, but you get the idea. Good morning. It is 5 o'clock on the dot. Time to preheat and cook our turkey jerky. $220. Preheat. Just peel off the paper and put it on the pizza pan. Cookie sheet. And we're going to twist it just a little bit because it's caught in the center. Two. Three. And folder. Oily hands. It does come out a little bit oily. Set the timer for 20 minutes. Start. Use this turkey for pemmican? Sure, why not? It's dehydrated. Just gotta make sure that the fat that you use is completely dehydrated. Maybe in the next video, I will convert some of this into pemmican. All I know is for now I got a baseball game to get to. I think in the next video I will throw some of this dried turkey into a blender and mix it up with some fat and we'll make some pemmican. Alright, turn heat gun here. Crack the oven. Currently, top surface is 210. Yeah, I'd say that's 165, and chances are it's been there for 10 minutes, so I'm gonna call it good. I might need 2 hands for this, actually. There you have it. Turkey jerky. I'm gonna put this into 4 bags, 4 Ziploc bags. We all had a blast. 3-0. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.